In this tutorial, I'll show you how to model a teacup in Blender. Now the following video is a short clip from my full tutorial series on creating this realistic kitchen interior. So if you'd like to check out the full course, then I'll have the product links in the description. But before we start the tutorial, here's a short video about the course. In this Blender course, I will teach you photorealistic interior creation in Blender. So throughout this tutorial series, I'll show you the entire process of creating this realistic kitchen interior scene. So what will you learn in this course? You'll learn how to model to the real life world scale, how to block out interior scenes, you'll learn interior modeling like windows, cabinets, and countertops, you'll learn how to set up texture maps and edit the UV maps. You'll learn how to create basic procedural materials like brick, plastic, and metal, how to add surface imperfections to objects to add realism, how to add decals to objects within the materials, using multiple UV maps to place textures, decals, and surface imperfections. You'll learn furniture modeling like bar stools, an oven, a fridge, a microwave, and more. You'll learn object and prop modeling like mugs, plates, vases, switches, and more. And we'll be going over some compositing effects to add more realism to your render. And you can find the links to the course in the video description. So I'll hit Shift-C to center the 3D cursor, I'll go to the Add menu, and I'm going to add a cylinder. And right behind me on the cylinder settings, I'm going to leave the vertices at 32 so it's a little bit detailed. And I'll close the cylinder settings, and I'll hit 1 on the numpad to go to front view. Now what I want to do is I want to open up my file browser, and I'm going to go to the MISC folder in the textures folder, which are included in the project files. And I'm just going to drag and drop this teacup image here on front view. And then I'll hit G to grab, move it down here. So now I can select the cylinder and we can go into edit mode, and we're going to use the reference image as a reference in the background. So I'll hold down Z and go into wireframe, and I'll go to the vertex select. I'll deselect everything and then just box select the top, and I'll bring it down. And you can see the perspective isn't like perfect, so it is a little bit more higher up looking down on the teacup, but it is pretty close, so it'll be okay. So I'm just going to box select the bottom now, and I'll bring the bottom up here, and then I'll hit E to extrude, and I'll scale it down a bit. And what I want to do is I want to make like a face here where we're going to extrude the cup handle. So if I box select the whole thing on the top here, I'll bring the top up a bit, and this one here, if I bring this up on the Z-axis, this one is where we're going to extrude out that handle. So I'll extrude this out again, scale it down a bit, extrude out again, scale it down a bit. And then this last one here, extrude down, scale it down, that one's going to be the other handle. And then we'll extrude it and scale it, extrude it and scale it down. So using references can really help to get the modeling more accurate. So I'll extrude it, scale it down again, like that. And then I'll hold down the Z button, go back to solid view. And I know that I'm going to want to add a subdivision surface modifier. So what I'm going to do is hit the I key to inset the faces a little bit. And that way the subsurf will be a little bit sharper there on the edge. All right, now I'm going to go to the top and select the top. We're going to select this top face, and we're going to hit X to delete, and we're going to delete the faces. And that way we'll be able to add a solidify modifier in the middle there. So let's now add some modifiers. So I'm going to go over here to the modifier properties. We'll click on add modifier, and I'm going to add the solidify modifier. And then what I can do is zoom in, and I can drag this thickness value to make it thinner and thicker. Then if we go back to object mode, I'm going to hit Control 2, so the Control 2 on the top of your keyboard, and that's going to add the subdivision surface modifier, and I'm going to set the levels viewport and render to 2, and then I'll use the object context menu and just shade it smooth. So then I want to go into edit mode, and on the top here, I want to hit Control R to add a loop cut, and I'll drag the loop cut up to kind of sharpen that top lip there. So what I'm now going to do is go to side view. So I'll hit the 3 on the numpad to go to side view, and I'm going to zoom in here, and if I go to the face select, I believe I want to select these two faces, and then let's go to front view again, see the reference, and I also want to hold down shift key and select these two. So these are where the handle is going to come out. So I'll hit 1 to go to front view, and what I can do is just hit E to extrude these both out just so I can kind of see where they are. So now what I'm going to do is just select the bottom ones, and we're going to work with these first. Now what I want to do is make this be like a perfect circle, so I'm going to use an add-on. So I'll click on edit, and I'll go to the preferences. And in the user preferences on the add-ons tab, I'm going to search for loop, and I'm going to enable the loop tools add-on, and then you can also save the preferences if you want to, and I'll just close the loop tools. So with the loop tools, I'll hit End to open up the side panel, and I'm going to click here on edit, and make sure you're in edit mode when you do this, and I'm going to open up loop tools. So what we want to do is we want to select those faces, and then what we want to do is click on the circle button. And you can see it's going to make a perfect circle. It is pretty low poly, but it is a perfect circle. And then if I select these two, on the top, we'll click on circle. All right, so now I can select these two faces. We'll go to side view. I can hit N to close the side panel, and I can just scale it down and rotate it like that, and then I can hit E to extrude, and I can scale it and rotate it, and we're just going to extrude it along the reference. So pretty easy modeling here, just hitting E to extrude, and then R to rotate, and then G to grab, and we're going to extrude it all the way around like that. All right, and then what I want to do is connect it. So what I'm going to do is select these two faces and scale it down so it's a bit more thin. And then if I select all of these faces here and these faces here, we'll hit X to delete and we'll delete the faces. Now what I can do is I can merge these two together, and you can actually see there's like a hole here. So I'm going to fix that later. We're basically going to apply the solidify, and then we can delete the faces inside. So what I want to do to merge these together is go to the edge select, or actually the vertex select. I'm going to hold down the Alt key and select that loop, and then Shift Alt select that loop. Then I can press Control E for edge settings, and I'm going to click on bridge edge loops. So you can see it's going to bridge that together. So then if I hit 1 on the numpad to go to front view, I want to hold down Alt and select that loop and rotate it and move it, rotate it and move it. All right, like that. Maybe scale this down and kind of rotate it. And I think I want to select these vertices and bring them up on the Z-axis. Bring this over a little bit. Then what I want to do is hold down Alt and hold down Shift and Alt and select all of these loops here, and I want to make them a bit thicker. So if I hit 7 for top view, I want to scale this up on the Y-axis just to make it a little bit thicker. All right, so that's better. Now you can see there's like a hole here. So what we need to do is apply the solidify and just get rid of that. So what we're going to do is click on the drop down here and just click on apply to apply the solidify. So we now want to go into edit mode, and I want to go to the face select, and I want to Alt select that loop of faces, and then Shift Alt select that loop of faces, and we're going to hit X and delete the faces. Then what I want to do is hit the L key just to select that part inside, and hit G to grab, move it out. So that's what the solidify made. So let's hit X and delete the faces. And then what I can do is go to the vertex select. We can also click on the little monitor icon just to disable the subsurf for now. And then I can shift select these two faces and hit F and F. Shift select these two faces and hit F and F. The other way to fix this would have been to like apply the solidify before I do the other modeling, but this is also an easy way just to delete those extra faces there. And now I can turn back on the subdivision surface modifier. Now it also looks a bit weird in here because it's like really sharp. So what I'm going to do is just click on the monitor icon just to disable the subsurf. And I want to navigate right down here to the bottom and kind of zoom in here. So it looks like we have like some overlapping faces here. So if I just like Alt select that loop, let's hit G and Z, bring it up on the Z axis, and we'll scale it up a little bit, bring it up on the Z axis like that. So now I can click on this monitor icon just to show the subsurf, and that looks better. And then I can hit the 1 on the numpad to go to front view, and I can just delete this reference here. So I'm just going to select it and click on delete. Let's hit Control S to save the project. So I now want to create the saucer. So I'm going to go into edit mode, and I'm going to hold down Alt and just select that loop there. And I'll hit Shift D to duplicate, and then hit S to scale it up. And I'm going to hit P, and we're going to separate by selection. So I'll go back to object mode, and I'll select the saucer and hit tab to go to edit mode. And I'll hit the A key to select the mesh, and I'll hit E to extrude, and then S to scale. We'll scale that down. Let's hit 1 for front view, and I can bring it down on the Z axis, and then hit E and then S, scale it down again, bring it down like that, and then hit F to fill a face there. I'll go back to object mode, and now I want to click on add modifier, and I want to search for solidify and add the solidify modifier. Now I don't want the subsurf first, because you can see now the edges are really sharp because it's first subsurfing it, so it's adding more geometry, and then it's adding the thickness. But I want to click on the little dots here and drag it up to the top, so it's first making it solid and then it's smoothing it out. So let's go into edit mode. I'm going to go to the bottom, and I'll hit Control R to add a loop cut, and I'll drag the loop cut right over there. Click there just to sharpen that. And then if we go to the solidify, let's make it quite a bit thicker. And then we're going to use the object context menu and just shade it smooth. And if I go into edit mode and select everything, I want to scale everything on the Z axis just so that it has a little bit more depth. So it's kind of rounding a bit more. And we'll bring it up just like that. So the teacup is just resting there on the saucer. Now, there also should be like a small indent where it kind of goes back in so that the teacup kind of fits there on the saucer. So if I go back into edit mode, I'm going to hit Control R to add a loop cut right here, click and then drag this down like that. And then if I hold down the Alt key and select that loop there, I'll hit G and Z and bring it down the Z axis like that. Then I can hit the I key to inset a face there like that. So if I just hit the / to go into local view, you can kind of see now we have that little indent there. but it's a little bit too small. So in edit mode, I'm going to hold down the Shift and Alt key and select that loop. And let's go to wireframe and select that loop. And we're going to scale that up a little bit. So now if I go out of local view, we just want to scale it up so that the bottom of the teacup is right about the same size. And we can go back to object mode and bring it up on the Z-axis just like that. So it kind of fits right there in the saucer. Now, one more thing that I want to do, if I go back into edit mode of the teacup, I want to sharpen up this edge a little bit and this edge, so I can hit Control R to add a loop cut, click right there, and then drag this edge down a little bit. Then I can hit Control R to add another loop cut, click and drag this down a little bit, just to kind of sharpen that up. So it looks a little bit more sharp there. So that's how you model a teacup in Blender, and if you'd like to check out the full course on creating this realistic kitchen interior, then I'll have the product links in the description. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.